Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Impact Marketing Summit. I brought together some of the world's top marketing experts to share with you their new age marketing strategies and techniques that would literally change the way you perceive and implement marketing in your day-to-day business. My name is Vamsi Pannala, and right now I'm delighted to be speaking with Jason Wright. Jason Wright is an active campaign certified consultant and top-rated Upwork professional. Jason's Upwork service includes digital marketing architecture and strategy. He has built 225 plus funnels in ClickFunnels and added to these numbers weekly. Jason is the founder and CEO of Intentionally Inspirational, as well as a podcast host. His podcast, the Intentionally Inspirational Marketing Talk podcast, focuses on featuring entrepreneurs and simple marketing tips. He has a passion for helping entrepreneurs simplify their sales funnels while skyrocketing their results. Jason, welcome to the summit.
Thank you. Glad to be here, man.
Pleasure.
Very excited. All right. Let me show you what I've got for you today.
Looking forward to.
Get this pulled up really quickly. And can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. All right. What I want to talk to you guys about today is something that is very, very, it's a big deal. I see this quite a bit. So when I teach you why your digital marketing strategy isn't working now, it probably never will with what I'm going to share without what I'm going to share with you today. Okay. And this is great for uncertain economic times like what we're seeing now and always. It's kind of timeless stuff here. So I've had the ability to talk to a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, small business owners, and they could be brand new or they could be very, very successful financially, but people find themselves in a place where they're stuck with their marketing, right?
Yeah.
So there's kind of three groups of people that I talk to and that I run into. And for everybody listening and watching, you're going to identify yourself in one of these three groups, right? Group one is you're brand new to the online marketing space. You just don't know where to start, right? There's so many options. There's so many strategies. There's so many gurus, just overwhelming. You have no idea where to start. So if that's where you are, we'll call you in bucket one. That's perfectly fine. Number two are the people that have tried a few things. They're familiar with some of the platforms and the buzzwords out there, but again, not really sure what they should be doing, not really sure if what they've done is the right stuff, tried a little without really any success. Then the final group, these are the folks that have invested in everything. They've got every new platform that comes out. They've got webinars, chatbots, email, ads. They've got everything, but they don't really know if things are hooked up right. They don't know what they should be focused on. It's just overwhelming. It's too much. You've got too much. So if one of those three buckets describes you, you're in the right place. You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. Does any of this stuff sound familiar to you? And I will tell you, I have been in all of these boats myself. Have you spent money on Facebook ads and you couldn't get them to work? You tried to build a funnel and then nothing happened. That's a big one there. Have you put a ton of time into social media and again, nothing has happened? How about starting a Facebook group and then you just didn't know what to do with it? Here's one that's going to create some pain for some of you. Have you hired that marketing expert who left you the same or even worse off than before? Man, that one hurts. Man, that hurts. Have you tried to build an email list and maybe done so, but didn't know what to do with it or couldn't get anybody to opt in at all? So the thought of this stuff is kind of makes you wince a little bit. It is overwhelming, but it's real, right? If you try to make money online, at some point, you're going to experience some of these if you haven't already. Okay, so are you ready for me to tell you why your digital strategy isn't working? Okay, it's far simpler than you may think, but I think that this is going to be eye-opening for some of you. I hope that it gives you a perspective you've never considered. Let's get into it. So the next 25 minutes, I'm going to show you my exact approach on how to craft a digital marketing strategy for your business that actually works without wasting another dollar a minute of your time, okay? I want you to walk away today with a light bulb moment. And it's going to be different things for different people, but that is my goal. It's very, very strongly focused on delivering value, and I think I'm going to do that here for you.
Thank you.
Okay, for those of you who stay to the end, I'm going to give you my proven perfect welcome series, email automation, which you can use in any platform. It's going to have copy, suggested wait times between emails, And one more bonus that you're going to want, but it's a surprise. You got to stay to the end. Trust me, you don't want to miss this, okay? All right, so here's the deal we're going to make. If you give me your undivided attention for the next 25 minutes, I promise you that it'll be the very best investment of your time today. Does that sound fair? Okay, no Facebook, no cell phone, no looking out the window, okay? Let's do this. So this is what you're going to get from me today. You're going to learn the framework to focus your marketing with a timeless strategy that works regardless of your industry. I don't care if you sell products, services, info products, or a combination of all those. You're going to be able to quickly identify a marketing fad and then deploy the willpower to steer clear of it. That's very important. You don't want marketing shiny object syndrome. And finally, you'll learn the most powerful and proven strategy on earth for actively engaging with your audience and your clients. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll. All right, who am I and why should you listen to me? I'm Jason. As VMC said, I'm an Upwork top-rated freelancer with 100% feedback, active campaign certified consultant. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I'm speaking to you from a place of experience, never ever theory. My company is intentionally inspirational. I don't love talking about myself, so we're just going to keep chugging along, but I do have some idea what I'm talking about here for you folks. Okay? So just for a moment, before we go any further, if you felt that pain before or now of your digital marketing not working, can you imagine what it might be like if it did? Can you imagine what it would feel like if you could grow that list, if you could engage your people more and you could make more sales? That's what everybody wants, right?
Yeah.
It's possible. I promise it's possible. All right. So let's learn the framework to focus your marketing strategy with what I like to call a timeless strategy, or it's evergreen, and it works regardless of your industry, okay? Have you ever told yourself this lie first, though? Before we get into that, I want to know, because I've told myself this lie, right? I'm a business owner. I've quit corporate America once and failed and had to go back. So I've been there. But have you ever said, you know what, I can't do marketing, so I've got to be a genius in marketing, or I have to have gone to school for marketing? I'm telling you now, it's simply not true. I've got no formal training, 100% self-taught, and I'm going to show you why this is a lie. So I've got two kids. My son, Ethan, is 14 at the time of this summit, and my daughter, Jersey, is 9. And when I talk to my daughter about what I'm trying to do with my business, if she doesn't understand what I'm talking about from a high level, it's too complicated, okay? So a question that I ask clients, and I ask myself a lot as well, is how do potential customer clients become aware of you? So what I'm saying is, how can people find you? Where are you out there? Okay. Once they become aware of you, I actually had this conversation with a friend today, what happens next? It's a great question to ask yourself with your marketing. What happens next? And the friend I was talking to today said, I have no idea. I said, so you're spending 6 hours a day with all this social strategy and you have no idea what you want people to do? And he's like, I have no idea. Okay. It should be that simple of a journey. All right. When people become aware of you, can you get an offer in front of them? Can you get them something to get on your email list? And if so, what happens next? And sadly, with a lot of companies, even if they're successful financially, once people get onto their email list, literally nothing happens next. Like, this isn't me just making stuff up. This is actually happening with successful companies.
Yeah.
Okay. And the sales process for companies is generally a few steps. It starts with a lead, it ends with a sale. But when somebody becomes a lead, what happens next? You know, if the process is they go to a sales page, or the process is they jump on a phone call, okay, then what? And if you work through your sales process, if you draw it out on a piece of paper or a whiteboard, a very simple process, and ask yourself what happens next, that will help you understand your customer journey. And although this may sound simple, most people I talk to, even educated, successful people, can't walk me through their customer journey because I've never thought about it. So if your answer to any of these questions is nothing or I don't know, that tells you where you have a leak in your funnel. That tells you where you have a problem. So this is absolutely foundational for what comes next. Is this helpful so far?
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. So here's another thing that a lot of people will fight me on, but it does work regardless of industry. Create value and spread positivity every day, right? If we want more negative information, we can look at social media. We can watch the news, for crying out loud. So my company is called Intentionally Inspirational. Once upon a time, when I didn't know what I was doing, I just created uplifting content and people responded to it, and it attracted people to the brand. And I thought, that's interesting. I wonder if anybody could use that strategy as part of their content creation. And I've seen it work for a variety of industries. It just, people like being around positive and uplifting companies and people. So this is a very powerful fuel. It does drive something I call attraction-based marketing, and I'm positive I didn't create that term, but it is a real thing. And it does work for everything: social media, podcasting, blogging, emails, live video, you name it, face-to-face events. People like being around other people that make them feel good. And this does work with brand awareness. It builds likability and trust. Okay. If you're not doing it now, if you don't do social media or you don't blog because you quote unquote don't know what to talk about, you can use this to fill in some of those gaps. Okay. Promise you it is a good strategy.
Sure.
All right. And this next piece is super important. So you build a foundational offer that's focused on real value for your audience. And I talk about real value a lot because a PDF that somebody made for you on Fiverr in 15 minutes is probably not going to offer real value. Okay. A way to check that is, would you pay $25 out of your own pocket for your offer? All right. In this offer, I'm just talking about building an email list with. Okay. If you can create an offer, and it doesn't have to be a PDF or a checklist. It can be videos, a free course. It can be a wide variety of things. Okay. If you can give something away that meets a pain point of your audience and gives them an accelerated path away from that pain with minimal friction, you're going to have success. You're going to get conversions. And this is the first step in the customer journey, right? When somebody hits your email list, they've become a lead. Whether they are potentially buy now or in the future is yet to be seen. But that's the thing you have to think about, because the list building struggle is real. And the biggest problem with it is that people don't put a good offer in front of the right audience. But if you give somebody something they actually want, that's something that's going to save them time and make it easier, you will have success. So my advice to everybody is get one offer that converts for list building. And if you can get it to 10% conversions or better, you've done something decent and you can create more, right? Sometimes people try to do too many at once. Start with one, get it converting, and then move on. Now, can you monetize on the back end of that opt-in? Sure. I'm not going to dive into that today because I want you to get it in your head that list building is an essential piece to your online marketing strategy. Okay. Let's learn to identify a marketing fad and learn how to steer clear of it. What I mean is, if you think about a product like ActiveCampaign for email marketing, there's a ton of email marketing softwares out there, right? Once you have some stuff that works, unless there's a really big reason to move, you don't want to get in the habit of moving to new platforms all the time. There's definitely a entrepreneur type that loves new software, absolutely loves it, and they invest all the time, but their problems never go away because they're not addressing the core problems with their business.
Yeah.
So have you ever told yourself this lie? Are you this entrepreneur? I need to keep up with everything to remain competitive with my marketing. I'm not that guy, but those people are out there. Those guys and those gals are out there, but something to think about. Okay. So let's explore the foundation of digital marketing. This is the way that I teach funnels, and I think it's very effective. You need three things for your marketing: a back end, a front end, and then a traffic strategy. And I told you that in order for a reason. Okay. Almost everybody does this backwards. Thus, they never find the success they hope for with their online marketing. Most people think about traffic first, right? Then they think about a front end. A front end is a landing page, a website, a cart page, the stuff that the users interact with. And the back end is always the last thought, right? The back end is like an ActiveCampaign, a CRM, a marketing automation, and an email tool. So that's actually the foundation. Okay. So if you do it in reverse order, you're setting yourself up to fail. Okay. And what that means is once somebody gets to your email list, what happens next? How do we know where they've been? How do we know where they're going? All of that stuff is critical. Otherwise, all of your efforts are kind of futile and out of order. Okay. Can you still have success if you ignore the back end and you have a ton of money for traffic? You can, but you're going to be missing a lot of opportunities. Okay. So if you think about your funnel in 3 buckets, back end, front end, then traffic, I think that will give you some great clarity that you may not have had to this point. And as far as traffic, I'm a big fan of get as much organic traffic as you can. And if you're able to, consider paid sources as well. But don't stretch yourself to the point where you're going to put yourself out of business by paying for ads. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. So changing your software will not help you if you ignore everything I just said. Okay. It has an advantage, but only if you first understand and are utilizing the foundation of your digital marketing effectively first. So for example, if you look at like an active campaign versus a MailChimp, in my opinion, I've used both. I think Active Campaign is a much better platform. It's easier to use and it's more powerful, right? Those two things alone are very good reasons to move. But if you don't want to move and you can't move for whatever reason, it's not going to put you out of business. So if you get your foundation built and you focus on what's important, you'll be okay. But if you just move to every new thing, you're just basically creating a crutch, and you're just refusing to face yourself in the mirror and say the problem is you just don't have an actual strategy. So, and this is a big point here. New software always means a new, potentially massive learning curve to become truly proficient. I think I've spent 1,000+ hours easily in ClickFunnels and Active Campaign and probably Facebook ads. And it takes a long time. Like, it's a lot of weeks. That's a lot of failure. That's a lot of Google searching and help docs. And if you want to use any platform to its potential, that might be required. If you're listening to me, unless you're in this space yourself, do you really have time to do that? Do you really want to do that? So something to think about, okay? That will help deter you from going after those marketing shiny objects if you think about that. So focus on the simple metrics that actually matter, right? There's a lot of metrics with marketing that people talk about. To keep it simple, look at your conversions. What percent of people are opting into your list? What percent of people are converting to, customers? When it comes to your email, look at open rates, click-through rates, bounces. Then the only unsubscribes I care about are the ones with spam complaints, right? Those should be very, very low because of the way that I build my list, which is the right way. You want to pay attention to your cost to acquire a new customer. And then if you know it, your potential lifetime value of a customer as well. That's good, simple, it's smart business there. When you get obsessed about cost per click and you don't really know what that means because you don't know what happens next, things like that just become a giant distraction, and you start focusing on stuff that doesn't actually help you. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will find yourself going crazy. Okay, so now let's learn the most powerful and proven strategy on planet Earth for actively engaging with your audience and your clients. And I'm telling you now, most people do this very, very poorly. And I think it's because it's intimidating. They don't know how. That's what it's got to be, but it's not hard. It's actually a lot of fun. Okay, have you ever told yourself this lie? I need to be a digital marketing automation expert to do this stuff well. I hear that a lot. I hear that from people. And what it really is they just don't want to take the time to learn it, which is fine. Just say that. But don't say that you have to be an expert when you don't. This isn't like being a doctor where you actually have to be an expert and go through that to do it the right way. This is something that you can learn, especially if you understand what it is at its foundation. So I want you to think back to the most important relationships that you do have or have had in your life. Could be parents, could be best friends, could be significant others, right? At some point, somebody said hi and the other person returned the greeting of some kind, right? There's some kind of exchange, that icebreaker. And then it kind of went to getting to know you, and you're figuring out, do I like this person? Do we have common interests? You're kind of going through that whole process. And then you either trusted the person or you didn't. You either liked him or you didn't. And it was what it was. That's how the world worked back before everybody was glued to a phone all day, right? So if you think about how that works, and obviously if things go well, the getting to know you stage is ongoing. And then at some point there's, hey, I want to keep this person in my life because there's value. They make me better, or we have fun together, or they've got good stories, or whatever the case may be. So you want to think about that in real life. And that should be the same way you think about your marketing, because it's really the same thing, but it's happening online. So the worst thing you can do is it's like door-to-door sales. You don't want to knock on a door and somebody opens the door and say, "Hi, I want to buy my $5,000 course." They're like, "Wait, who are you? What are
Exactly.
you talking about? Why are you here?" It's the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you take the human relationship and you put that into your marketing, you'll see a different result. So same thing I'm saying here. You know, when somebody opts into your list or somebody joins your group or somebody reaches out to you on social, start off friendly and lead with with some kind of value. Kind of the mindset you should have is what's in it for the person talking to me, not what's in it for me, because they'll see that right away. Okay. Proceed to welcome and introductions. Just a welcome sequence in your email is a huge deal, and most businesses still don't have them, right? After a welcome email, some kind of an introduction. Hey, this is what we do here. This is what you can expect from us. This is how we can connect on social. Just something that simple is very effective. And then the piece where people fail on such an epic level, it's unbelievable, is the ongoing communication. This could be Facebook groups. This should be weekly emails, YouTube, podcast, social, messenger, two-way texting. There's a lot of options there, but most people do it very poorly, especially with those weekly emails. A lot of people will have email. They might have one automation, and then what, right? People just sit on a list forever. Nothing happens. So if you create relationships online with potential customers and current customers, and you speak to them on a regular basis, guess what happens? Relationships get built, good things happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's another tip that's very, very powerful. If you approach your copywriting and your messaging in an authentic and conversational tone, it goes a long way. This is very easy to do. It's very effective. Just be yourself. You know, every brand, every person has a little bit different personality, a different voice. Just be who you are. If people don't like it, it's fine. You're not going to attract everybody you don't want to. Okay. If you write the way you speak, that's how I write. I write great copy. It's powerful. When you tell stories, it makes you so relatable, and it's super powerful, especially if the person you're talking to has had a similar experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So people get so caught up in copywriting and, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Just write the way you talk. Just think about how you speak to the people in your life. And I think you'll find it'll give you better results. Okay. After hearing all this, and I know it's a lot of information, do you see something? Do you see a couple of somethings that help you understand what you've been doing online, why they haven't worked yet? I hope so. If not, I have failed. I have failed. So do you believe me that this new knowledge can help change your business? Do you see the power of what I'm talking about here? You know, I want you to think about that. I hope you've written down a few notes and you see something, you go, man, I need to do that thing right there. Okay.
Yeah.
My goal here today, like I told you at the beginning, is when you leave this training, I want to be confident that you'll be better off than when you got here. If I've done that, I've done my job. If you learn one thing today, you've made the rest of my year. I'm in a good place because you're in a good place. Okay. So as promised, for staying to this point in the summit, I've got a perfect welcome series of email. It's basically automation copy, suggested wait times, and then a bonus I'm going to give you is a screen share video. I'm going to walk you through each page of the email. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, what you should be trying to get out of it, and how you can modify it for your brand. It's all free, and if it helps you, you're more than welcome to take advantage. You can go to perfectemailsecrets.com and get that. I'll be more than happy to send it to you.
Thank you so much, Jason. And yeah, I think some of the topics that you have mentioned inside your presentation, I think a lot of people probably somewhere in their head, they already know about that, but I think they just don't have a intention, or they just don't have that implementation strategy, because they get overwhelmed with a lot of other stuff that they catch hold on different social media platforms, and they just get carried away. So yeah, I think attraction marketing is something that a lot of people probably have not been doing, because I have spent a lot of time in the space of digital marketing myself. So I know how if you put out your content, you start publishing every single day, you attract your dream customers, and you probably first find your own voice, and people will find your voice and they start coming to you. So I think attraction marketing is something that is personally my key takeaway from your presentation. I made my own notes
Mhm.
while you were presenting. I'm sure people who are watching it right now would have taken out a lot of key takeaways, and especially when you talked about how a lot of people are actually doing it the wrong way, getting traffic first, then the front end offer, and then the back end. I think I'm personally doing the same mistake as well. I'll be very honest in admitting that. So it's time for me to go back to the drawing board and see how I have to really reverse engineer it, and then actually start sending traffic to any of my product and services that I want to in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's another tip with that. Attraction-based marketing, I'll be real honest with you. So my business does over 6 figures a year in revenue.
Mhm.
And all of our leads are attraction-based. I don't have any active lead gen plan of any kind for what I do. It's all attraction-based. So it does work. It does take time to get going. But here's the big takeaway. Even when you think nobody's watching, they are. There's
Yeah.
always those people that watch and they lay quiet, and they might pop up and say, "Hey, I'm ready to jump on a call." And if you're back into setup, you can look and be like, "Oh man, this person's been in my list for 6 months and they open everything. They've been gobbling things up. I just had no idea who they were." So people are watching and listening, even if you think they're not.
Uh, it- for what you just mentioned, I think I'm a perfect example. When I reached out to one of the speakers to be on the summit, we never spoke, we never interacted, but he did tell me that he was always watching my Facebook lives. uh,
Hmm.
never had a like, never had a comment from him, but he said, I used to watch your lives, and I really used to like the way you present your topics. I was summarizing one funnel away challenge and .com secrets book a few months back. Every single day went live for like 66 days on a trot. So people do take a note of what you're doing. They may not engage with you, but when there is a requirement, you are the first person who pop up in their head, and you're absolutely right in saying that.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. I would like to thank you once again for being on the summit, providing so much wisdom inside your presentation. I'm sure people will really take away a lot of good stuff, and hopefully we'll have more conversations like this in the future.
Absolutely. Appreciate you inviting me here, and I was glad to do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jason. Pleasure.